If you have missed a payment and you are scared the auction is happening next week, I need to tell you about a number, 120. That is the federal minimum that exists between your first missed payment and the moment a servicer can generally even file the first foreclosure document. The law put it there on purpose, and you deserve to know it exists. I'm Alexis with Buys Properties. If you have missed mortgage payments and you are worried about what happens next, this video is for you. There is a federal rule most homeowners in this situation have never heard of, and once you understand it, your entire picture of the timeline changes. We are partnered with top Georgia foreclosure attorneys and HUD-approved housing counselors. Let's walk through this together, one step at a time. Before we dive in, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. If you have missed a mortgage payment or two, and you are terrified that the next step is losing your home tomorrow, I need to tell you about a number, 120 days. That is the federal minimum that a servicer must generally wait before making the first official foreclosure filing. This is not a technicality. This is a consumer protection that Congress built into the rules governing how mortgage servicers operate. The rule comes from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau under a regulation called Regulation X. It says that a mortgage servicer generally cannot make the first notice or filing required to begin a foreclosure until a borrower is more than 120 days delinquent. The purpose of that rule is to give you time to call your servicer, time to apply for loss mitigation options, time to consult a HUD-approved counselor, time to understand what your choices actually are. 120 days is roughly 4 months of missed mortgage payments, and critically, this is the floor before the servicer can generally file the very first document to begin the process. It is not the date the auction happens. Between the 120-day mark and an actual courthouse sale in Georgia, there is still the publication period, which requires the notice to run in the county legal newspaper once a week for 4 consecutive weeks, plus the 30-day borrower notice requirement. Georgia's own law adds requirements that run on top of the federal 120-day floor. Once a servicer decides to proceed with foreclosure, they must publish the notice of sale in the official legal newspaper for the county where the property sits once a week for 4 consecutive weeks before the sale, and the borrower must receive at least 30 days written notice of the sale date. Taken together, the federal floor, the publication period, and the borrower notice mean that a Georgia homeowner who engages with this process early has a meaningful amount of time to evaluate every option. The 120-day rule is paired with another protection. If you submit a complete loss mitigation application to your servicer, the servicer has a duty under federal law to review it for all available options before proceeding with foreclosure. Those options include reinstatement, a repayment plan, forbearance, a loan modification, and for FHA-backed loans, a partial claim where HUD advances funds to bring the loan current. The dual tracking restriction under CFPB Regulation X adds even more protection. If you have submitted a complete loss mitigation application, the servicer generally cannot advance the foreclosure process at the same time your application is under review. Calling your servicer and submitting your paperwork can legally pause the foreclosure timeline. You have to submit a complete application and be within the right part of the process. A HUD-approved counselor can help you make sure you use this protection correctly. So what do you do with this window? 3 things in this order. First, call your mortgage servicer's loss mitigation department and ask what options are available for your loan. Write down every detail. Second, call a HUD-approved housing counselor at the HOPE hotline 1-888-899-54673. Free, confidential. They will review your full financial picture and guide you through every application. Third, if you are within 2 to 3 months of a potential sale date, consult a Georgia foreclosure attorney. We can connect you with one at no cost. When you call your servicer, be specific. Tell them you want the loss mitigation department. Ask what options are available for your specific loan type. If you have an FHA loan, ask about the partial claim. Write down every name, date, and detail. Documentation can matter if there is ever a dispute about what the servicer told you. The HOPE hotline at 1-888-995-4673 connects you to counselors who are specifically trained in foreclosure prevention. They review your income, your expenses, and your loan terms. They help you apply for the right options, and they do all of this for free. If anyone asks you for upfront money to help you avoid foreclosure, that is a warning sign. On the Homeowner Assistance Fund during the COVID recovery period, HAF provided direct mortgage assistance to homeowners facing hardship. However, as of 2024 and 2025, most states, including Georgia, had wound down or fully closed their HAF programs as federal funding was exhausted. If you are already close to or past the 120-day mark, the window for some options is narrowing. A reinstatement is possible as long as the loan has not yet been sold at auction. A modification may still be on the table, but all of these options become harder to execute as the clock moves. If you are near a sale date, consult a Georgia foreclosure attorney today. For some homeowners, the math after reviewing all the options is clear. Modification payments are not sustainable. There is not enough equity for a traditional listing, or the emotional cost of a long process is too high. In those cases, selling before the auction can be the right choice. A short sale requires the lender's approval, but can sometimes result in less credit damage. A direct sale to a cash buyer, if there is equity, can pay off the loan and put money back in your hands. If you decide that selling before the auction is the right move, here is how we work. We work alongside your attorney and within whatever timeline your servicer or the court has established. We buy houses, as is across Georgia. You do not repair or clean anything. We make an honest cash offer, and if it works for your legal situation, we close on a schedule that fits. I want to be honest. If your income has stabilized and a modification would produce a payment you can sustain, take the modification. If you can reinstate the loan and keep the house, do that. We will tell you that honestly. Not every family should sell, and a company that tells every homeowner in foreclosure to sell is not giving you real information. One more time, because it matters. The Mars rule makes it illegal to charge upfront fees for foreclosure rescue or loan modification, help before delivering results, never pay upfront, never sign over your deed to a third party, never redirect your mortgage payments to someone who is not your actual servicer. Here is what you need to carry from this video. Federal law generally requires a servicer to wait more than 120 days before filing. Georgia adds a 4-week publication period and a 30-day borrower notice on top of that. During that window, you have the right to apply for loss mitigation options. A HUD-approved counselor will walk through every option with you for free at 1-888-995-4673. And if selling before the auction is the right call for your situation, we are here. Click the link in the description and fill out the quick form at rivbuysproperties.com. Now you know the number. 120 days is the federal floor before a servicer can generally file. Georgia adds notice requirements on top of that. Use that time wisely. If you want to talk through what your options look like, including what selling before the auction means for your specific home, click the link and fill out the quick form at rivbuysproperties.com. No pressure. Real information only.